were not here, and it was finished 56. Up to
So
56.
we have to start with 57 now. Okay. Is the screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, so Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyate Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnavas here.
Hare Krishna.
So we'll start with text 57. I mean, we are in the conclusion of Brahma Samhita actually. There are only 6 more verses to finish the entire Brahma Samhita. So till now we saw from text 1 till now, Brahma has been glorifying Krishna, various attributes of Krishna, various forms of Krishna, so various qualities of Krishna. So we also saw about the 5 different gods and their relationship with Krishna. And Brahma also spoke about the glories of Goloka Vrindavan. So this Brahma Samhita, this actually took place at the time of creation. So at the time of creation, we all know, we would have read in Bhagavatam, like when Brahma is meditating on the sound, so Brahma has got the realization and then he's speaking about the glories of Krishna. So now after speaking about all the glories, now it's time for the Lord to speak back to Brahma. So this verse is, from this verse till the end of the chapter, the Lord is going to speak back to Brahma. So what is he going to speak back about? He is going to speak back how to perform the pure devotional service and what devotional service is. So let us to text 57. Athovacha Mahavishnur
अथोवाच महाविष्णुर्
Bhagavantam Prajapatim
भगवन्तं प्रजापतिम्
Brahman Mahatva Vijnane
Brahmanmahatva Vijnane
Praja Sarge Cha Chenmati
Praja Sarje Chinmati
Panchashlokim Imam Vidyam
Panchaslokim
Vatsadattam Nibodhame
Vatsadattam Nibodhame.
Atha, then Uvacha said, Mahavishnu, the Supreme Lord, Bhagavantam, unto the glorious, Prajapatim, Lord Brahma, Brahman, O Brahma, Mahatva, of the glory of Godhead, Vijnane, in real knowledge, Praja Sarge, in creating offspring, Cha, and Chet, if, Matihi, the inclination, Panchashlokim, the 5 shlokas, Imam, this, Vidyam, science, Vatsa, O beloved, Dattam, given, Nibodha, hear, me, may, from me. Translation. On hearing these hymns containing the essence of truth, the Supreme Lord Krishna said to Brahma, Brahma, if you experience the inclination to create offspring by being endowed with the real knowledge of the glory of Godhead, listen, my beloved, from me to the signs set forth in the following 5 shlokas. Okay, so as I said, like Brahma has been glorifying the Lord for the 56 verses, and now after hearing all those, here it is said Atovacha Mahavishnu. So Atah, then Mahavishnu is saying Uvacha. So one thing that we can note here is, who was Brahma glorifying in the first 56 verses?
Govindam.
Who is Govinda? Which form of the Lord is Brahma glorifying?
Govinda is the primeval.
Yeah. So he's speaking about basically Krishna. So from text 1 till now, he's only glorifying about Krishna. Because even we also know he glorified Krishna as the supreme. Even in one of the verses it would come Yakharana Navajale Bhajate Sma Yoga Nidra Mananta Jagadanda Saroma Kupaha. So even the Mahavishnu, who is considered the creator of all the unlimited universe, who is he? He is also the part of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So Govindam Adi Purusham. But here in this text you could see Atovacha Mahavishnu. So it has not said Atovacha Krishna or Govinda. So here Mahavishnu is replying. So most of the acharyas, if you look at it, they consider the Mahavishnu to be Krishna actually. So it is actually Krishna who is reciprocating and who is giving the instructions to Brahma. Or else one more way to look at it is, so from whose navel do Brahma arise? So which form of Vishnu that Brahma come from?
Garbhodaka.
Yeah, so he comes from the navel of Garbhodakashai Vishnu. So what we can also assume is that Garbhodakashai Vishnu at the time of creation, he is explaining these verses to Krishna, to Brahma, representing Krishna. So the information or the subject matter is still Krishna, but we can either consider Mahavishnu to be Krishna himself, or Garbhodakashai Vishnu is explaining these subject matters representing Krishna. So here if we look into the translation, Brahma, if you experience the inclination to create offspring by being endowed with real knowledge of the glory of Godhead, then listen from me the following 5 shlokas. Here, if you look into the purport, yeah, here. If we could someone read this portion of purport, please?
Prabhuji, Ma'am will read.
The Supreme Lord became propitious when Brahma, with great eagerness, chanted the names Krishna and Govinda, expressive of the form, attribute, and pastimes. Brahma was actuated by the desire for mundane creation. Krishna then said to Brahma how pure, unalloyed devotion can be practiced by the souls engaged in worldly occupations by combining the same with the desire of carrying out the behest of the Supreme Lord. The knowledge absolute is knowledge of the glory of Godhead. If you want to procreate offspring, being endowed with such knowledge, listen attentively to the science of devotion that is contained in the following 5 slokas.
Okay, so here what we can understand from this purport is that so what is the role of Brahma? So the role of Brahma is to create the secondary things, so Visarga. So creating the bodies, mundane creation, that was the role of Brahma that he was given. So when Brahma is performing a role, so let us not just talk about Brahma. So each and every one who is here would be performing some action, right? So what is action called? It is called the karma. So Krishna here says, how pure unalloyed devotion can be practiced by soul engaged in worldly occupations by combining the same with the desire of carrying out the orders. So it means even while performing the karma, we can start practicing Shuddha Bhakti. So what are the 3 types of Bhakti that we know? So I'll give one is pure Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti. So what is the other 2 types of Bhakti? There are many. One is Ananya Bhakti and the other one is called Mishra Bhakti. So Ananya Bhakti is the pure Bhakti and then the Mishra Bhakti is called mixed Bhakti. So what are the 2 or 3 types of mixed Bhakti that we all know? Am I audible? I think they stuck. Am I audible? I think there's some connection. Yeah, okay. So what are the Mishra Bhaktis? Mishra Bhakti is nothing but Bhakti mixed with some other aspect. So for example, Ananya Bhakti is pure Bhakti. So that is the Anya Bilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, Anukulyana Krishna Anusilanam. So performing Bhakti with the intention of satisfying Krishna. So that should be the only motive of Bhakti. That is called Ananya Bhakti. So what are the types of Mishra Bhakti? One is called Karma Mishra Bhakti and the other one is called Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So what Karma Mishra Bhakti is? So this we have to be very clear on what Karma Mishra Bhakti is and what Karma Yoga is, because many people get confused between Karma Yoga and Karma Mishra Bhakti. So generally what we call Karma Yoga, how we can call it is Bhakti Mishra Karma. So Mishra is like kind of secondary or mixed. So in terms of Bhakti Mishra Karma or Karma Yoga, which is Nishkama Karma Yoga, so what the main aspect is the performance of karma. So the karma is the major factor there. So that is the main influencer. But in that process of karma yoga, there would be a small portion of bhakti in it. So they are not performing a pure bhakti. They are performing karma yoga. But even in that karma yoga, there would be a small portion of bhakti. So how can we say? For example, let's say a person is performing Vedic rituals. It's like some like what to say, some sacrifices or rituals or some homas something. What he would do is he would do the homas or rituals. At last he would offer it to the Krishna. But he is just offering the Vedic ritual, but he's not offering everything in his day-to-day life. So this is Bhakti Mishra Karma. This is Karma Yoga, performing a karma, Vedic karma, and offering that to Krishna. So that is the Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, without any motive of fruitive result. He is offering it to Krishna. So this is not a bhakti. This doesn't come under the category of bhakti. So, but when we take Mishra Bhakti, there are two types, I said, Karma Mishra Bhakti and Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So now, what is the difference between Karma Mishra Bhakti and Jnana Mishra Bhaktis? One is they'll offer the result, and one is there will be a mixture of Jnana, knowledge in it. So in Karma Mishra Bhakti, for example, yeah, let us take that verse in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, 27. So whatever you do, whatever you eat, so whatever austerity perform, whatever sacrifice, what does Krishna say? Offer it to me. So which type of bhakti that this come under? Does it come under pure bhakti or does it come under Karma Mishra Bhakti?
Karma Mishra Bhakti.
Karma Mishra.
Yeah. So why is it not pure bhakti? Because Krishna says whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever activity you perform, whatever sacrifice you do, you offer it to me, right? So that should technically be a pure bhakti. Then why is it called Karma Mishra Bhakti?
Because he's doing all work and he's offering it to them, offering to Krishna. So the work is more important before offering. So it is Karma Bhakti.
This Mataji. Yeah. It's yeah. For example, let us take an example to understand Ananya Bhakti and Karma Mishra Bhakti. Like, for example, let's say there's a deity of Krishna in our house and we want to offer him food. So what does Krishna like? For example, he likes sweet rice. So I am preparing sweet rice with the intention like, oh, Krishna is going to like this rice. He's very fond of this. I'll make all the milk products, all the curd cheese products so that he would really enjoy it. And I'm making it for Krishna and I'm offering to it. Okay. There's another example. We have deity of Krishna. I like pizza. I like burger. I like pasta. So I am making pizza, burger and pastas. And I am offering it to Krishna and then eating. Out of this, which is Karma Mishra Bhakti and which is Ananya Bhakti?
The first one is Karma Bhakti. Karma Mishra Bhakti.
No, the first one is actually Ananya Bhakti. Because the first one is we are offering the sweet rice because Krishna likes it. We are actually performing that because to satisfy Krishna. Whereas in the second case, we are making pizza, burger, pasta because we would like to eat them, but we wanted to offer it to the Lord. So we are performing a karma and we are offering the results of or the activities of karma to Krishna. So similarly, when Krishna says whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you perform, here, so since the devotee is not always thinking about Krishna, what he does is he performs an action and he gives it to Krishna. Sarvam Krishna Arpanam. So what it becomes it becomes a karma. You're performing a karma and you're offering to it. That is a Karma Mishra Bhakti. So, but when you keep performing this Karma Mishra Bhakti upon like chanting and continuously hearing, so what happens is that So why does person work is he works because of his nature, material nature of his swabhava. So based on the person's swabhava, he would work in different areas. For example, I am working in a construction field. So that would be because I'm basically rajasic in nature to create something or to manage something. So that comes under my swabhava. Because of that, I am doing a work. At the same time, I'm performing bhakti. But at the same time, when a person who is working, when he continuously does the core bhakti along with karma, what happens is when the intensity of bhakti increases, his conditioning nature would keep going down. So at that time, he would start performing the bhakti only for the intention of satisfying Krishna. So the same devotee now, he might be working in a company, he might be doing activities, he might be offering food, but that would not come under the category of Karma Mishra Bhakti, because now he's doing the same activities what he was doing when he was doing Karma Mishra Bhakti. But what was the intention then? The intention was, I need to get something, but I will offer it to Krishna, because that's what Shastra says, that was Krishna says. But now what would be the intention of the devotee is that irrespective of if we get it or not, whatever I'm performing now, it's for the satisfaction of Krishna. So even if a person is working in a company, so it's not necessary a person should join a temple or he should be full-time devotee. So he shouldn't be working outside. No, even if a person is working and if he performs bhakti, so yeah, at start we might be in the stage of karma mishra bhakti, but upon continuous chanting and hearing with the right knowledge, we would transcend our mode of nature and then we would start performing the pure bhakti, which is the Ananya Bhakti. So when we see when Krishna says, said to Brahma, how pure unalloyed devotion can be practiced by souls engaged in worldly occupation. So this is a proof to say even if a person is working in a worldly occupation, he can definitely perform the unalloyed devotion. So that's what Rupa Goswami says. What does he say? Jnana karmadi anavritam. So what is pure bhakti? The pure bhakti should be devoid of desire for karma and the results of karma and jnana. So Anukulyana Krishna Anusilanam. It should be only for the sake of satisfying the Lord. So that is called the pure bhakti. And finally, how bhakti is practiced by performing worldly duties in the form of carrying out the commands of the Supreme Lord is being described. So we'll go to the next verse. Is there any question or any comment for this verse? Any question? Hope I was clear. Was it clear?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay. So next text 58. Prabhude Jnana Bhaktibhyam
प्रभुभ्याम्
Atmanananda Chinmayi
आत्मनानन्दचिन्मयी
Udetyanuttama Bhaktir
उदेत्यानुत्तमा भक्तिर्
Bhagavat Prema Lakshana.
भगवत्प्रेमलक्षणा.
Would someone like to read the synonyms?
When the pure spiritual experience is excited by means of cognition and service, bhakti, super excellent unalloyed devotion characterized by love for Godhead, is awakened towards Krishna, the beloved of all, what is that?
Souls. Sorry.
Souls.
Okay. So before that, I'll read the synonyms. Prabhuddhe, when excited. Jnana, by cognition or knowledge. Bhakti bhyam, and by devotional service. Atmani, in pure spiritual soul. Ananda Chitmayi, full of knowledge and bliss. Udeti,
knowledge and bliss.
Udeti is awakened. Anuttama, super excellent. Bhakti, devotion. Bhagavat, for Krishna. Prema, by love. Lakshana, characterized. So as Prabhuji did translation, when the pure spiritual experience is excited by means of cognition and service, super excellent unalloyed devotion characterized by love for Godhead is awakened towards Krishna, the beloved of all souls. So here in this verse, the two things that are extremely necessary for performance of bhakti, how to start bhakti, is mentioned here. So what are the three tattvas that we generally discuss? I think Lakshmi Mataji also has explained it many times. In a verse, even if in a shloka we take, these three tattvas should be there in that. That is the basic of our philosophy. Like whatever philosophy we take. Yes, Mataji, please.
Sambandha, Abhidhaya and Prayojana.
Excellent, Mataji. Thank you. So can someone say what is Sambandha, Abhidhaya and Prayojana?
Our relationship with Krishna, Sambandha, Abhidhaya, is how do we, how the process, and then Prayojana is the goal.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So to just explain it in a layman's term, suppose if we want to, we are in Auckland, suppose we want to reach Wellington. So that's our motive. So if we'll just take the Sambandha, Prayojana and Abhidhaya in this context. So what is Sambandha relationship? We need to first understand why do we want to go to Wellington? There should be a motive, right? So without having a motive, we cannot do anything. And then Abhidhaya. So how are we actually going to the Wellington? We might either go through car or through flight. So Abhidhaya is nothing but the way through we reach the destination. That is called the Abhidhaya. And Prayojana is what is the result of doing something? For example, if someone asks me to chant daily in the morning or keep hearing Bhagavatam, the first question is like, I need to know what is the result of doing it. If there are no results of doing an activity, obviously no one would be interested in doing it. For example, if a company says, I'm not going to pay you anything, but you just keep working, will we be working in that company? No, because to perform something, we need to know what the end result is. Only then we would be motivated in doing the performance. So Prayojana is nothing but the end goal. So by performing the Abhidhaya, so what are we going to achieve? So that is called the Prayojana. So similarly, if we look into the spiritual thing, there are two things what Bhakti Krishna says here, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati explains it, is excited by means of cognition and service. So here, cognizant. So when it means cognition, cognition means knowledge. So this knowledge is actually Sambandha. It comes under the category of Sambandha. And then when we speak about the service, the bhakti, it comes under the process of Abhidhaya. So what is that Sambandha? We'll look into it now. So what is the process? The process is called bhakti. So that has been established now. The process is bhakti. So but we have to look at what is Prayojana and what is Sambandha. So now in terms of spirituality, in terms of Krishna, what Sambandha is actually is, there are three things that we have to note. One is called the Chit, one is called the Achit, and one is called the Bhagavan or the Paramatma, we can say. So Chit is, for example, whatever you see that is living, it is Chit. Whatever you see that is non-living, that is Achit. For example, the bed, the table, computer, speaker, whatever you see, that is Achit. But whatever Jivatma that you see, that is called the Chit. So there should be a relation, right, between these two. And the relation between the Chit and the Bhagavan, the relationship between the Chit, Achit and the Bhagavan, that is called the Sambandha Jnana. That is called the relationship. So to just understand this, I'll just share a screen now. There is a work of Bhakti Vinod Thakur called Dasa-mula-tattva. So that is basically like 10 principles, or it is a philosophical book where the 10 truths would have been explained by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I'll just share that now so that we can go through what are the Sambandha, Abhidhaya and Prayojana. So is the screen visible? Okay. So as I said, there are.
Can you make it big, that letters?
No, Mataji, is it good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just give overview. I'll read from this. In Dasa-mula-tattva, published by Sajjana Toshani, Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur outlines in detail the famous 10 foundation principles of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this book is like, it's the essence, the basics. It means like it has all the foundation principles of all the tattvas, the 10 principles, which would explain all the three categories: the Sambandha, relationship, the Abhidhaya, the process of the devotional service, and then the prayojana, what is the end goal. We'll just go through it one by one. Yeah, okay. So, okay. First subject, would anyone like to read that?
Sri Hari is the only Paramatatva, supreme truth. Sri Krishna, who has the complexion of a new rain cloud and whose form is Satchidananda, eternity, knowledge, and bliss, is denoted by the word Hari, Brahman, who is described in the Upanishads, is merely the effulgence of Sri Hari's divine form. He is not a separate tattva from Sri Krishna. That which the yogis refer to as Paramatma is an expansion of Sri Hari, and it is simply by his Krishna, uh,
Ikshana.
Siksha, or glance, that Prakriti creates the world of animate and inanimate beings. Therefore, Sri Hari is the only master, and all others, such as Brahma, etc., are his servants.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So the first subject, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, authoritatively, he states that who is the Param Tattva, who is the supreme truth, Sri Hari. And who is that Sri Hari? Krishna. So Krishna or Vishnu or Rama, they are the supreme truth. And who is that Krishna? What form does he have? That is the complexion of new rain cloud. So this comes in the Brahma Samhita also, 5.37 or 38. Yam Shyama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam. So that is this Shyama Sundar. That is the original form of Sri Krishna. And what is his quality? Is eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Satchidananda Vigraha. So there are, again, we have discussed this just to go into detail. There are three aspects of the Lord. So what is that? Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Shabhyate. So the three aspects are Brahman, Paramatma, and the Bhagavan. So generally, who focuses on Brahman? Generally, the people who perform Jnana Yoga, the Jnanis, they focus on the Brahman aspect of the Lord. So who focuses on the Paramatma? The yogis who performs the yogic process, they focus on the Paramatma form of the Lord. And who focuses on the Bhagavan? Santas Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. The devotees, they always focuses on the Bhagavan. So even though they know, they have the knowledge about three, they want to have a personal relationship with the Lord. That is the reason they always prefer Bhagavan. So in that case, what is Brahman as explained in the Brahma Samhita itself? Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti. So it means Brahman is nothing but the effulgence. So when it comes to Brahman, it has no form. It is completely impersonal. It is the effulgence that comes from the tip of the rays of tip of the feet of Krishna, or it comes from the Vaikuntha planets. That is the Brahman. So when a person reaches the Brahman, so he is completely impersonal, and then he does not have any personal relationship with the Lord. Yeah. What is Paramatma? So Paramatma is also one of the feature of Bhagavan. So people who perform the yogic activities, the process of yoga, so they realize Paramatma and then they attain the Paramatma. So the first truth subject here is it establishes who is the supreme truth. Next, second subject. Anyone else would like to read it?
It's so small, I can't read.
Okay.
Yeah, Prabhuji, sorry about that.
Oh, is it so small? Okay.
Sri Hari
I-
possesses all
Just a
potencies.
minute. I'm just trying to. Okay, can I read it? If
Yeah.
it's okay.
That Sri Hari possesses all potencies,
Mm-hmm.
manifesting from Hari is
Yes,
Hari,
no.
Achintya Para Sakti, supreme potency of inconceivability, which is non-different from him. He has his internal Chit Sakti, his external Maya Sakti, and his marginal Jiva Sakti. The Vaikuntha Tattva emanates from the Chit Sakti. The unlimited universes emanate from the Maya Shakti, and the infinite Jivas are created by the Jiva Shakti. Sandhini, Sambit, and Haladini are the three aspects of the Parasakti.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So here, this second subject is it establishes the Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. So what it says is that Sri Hari possesses all potencies. It means he is the master or owner of all the potencies. So it's given here itself, but how many potencies do we know that the Lord has? I mean, he has unlimited potencies, but they can be categorized into three different headings. So what are the three different main potencies of the Lord?
Internal, external, marginal.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful. So it is the Antaranga Shakti or the Chit Shakti, which is the internal potency of the Lord. Second is the Bahiranga Shakti or the Maya Shakti or the external potency of the Lord. And third is the Tatashta Shakti, which is the marginal potency of the Lord. So now what is the Chit Shakti? It's given here. The Vaikunta Tattva emanates from the Chit Shakti. So it means whatever that is spiritual, that's in the spiritual world, in the Vaikunta or Goloka Vrindavan, those are all Chit Shakti. So we also know the Chit Shakti is again divided into three major aspects: Sandhini, Samvit, and Hladini. So what is the Hladini? Hladini is the pleasure potency of the Lord. So that is called the Hladini potency. So Samvit potency is the cognitive potency. So that is the knowledge potency of the Lord. And then next one is the Sandhini. Sandhini is the existential potency. Existential potency is very simple, like whatever you see that exists in the spiritual world, like for example, the existence of the spiritual planets, Vaikunta, or the existence of the Nitya Siddhas, whoever it is. Sorry, not Nitya Siddhas, the existence of Vaikunta, whatever that's related to Krishna, those all come under the existential potency, which is the Sandhini Shakti. Samvit Shakti is the knowledge. So what is then the external energy, Bhagiranga Shaktis? So whatever you see apart from the spiritual world, for example, this material universes, whatever creation that you are seeing, those are all influenced by the Maya. That is the reason this is called the Bhagiranga Shakti, the external energy of the Lord. That is the first one, what I told is the internal energy of the Lord. So the third one is called the Tatashta Shakti. So what is that? Is marginal potency. It's very simple. Marginal potencies are none other than the Jivatmas. So when we are here, Jivatmas, we are actually the marginal potency. So how to understand this is that, like, okay, so for example, let us consider a beach, okay, where the sand meets the water. So when we look at that junction, you could always see the water is on this side and there's a land on this side. Yeah. So there would be a center point on both of that, right? So that we can consider that as the marginal, because when you are at the center, the tip of that, you can either go towards the water or you can either go towards the sand. Okay. So similarly, we know Chit Shakti is completely spiritual. It has no dealings with the material world. Similarly, the Maya Shakti or Bahiranga Shakti, it's far from Krishna. So that generally the Bahiranga Shakti do not work along together with the what is it? Chit Shakti. So, but we are by nature, what are we? We are actually part of Krishna. So by nature, we are Tatashta Shakti because we are just in that center line, just like how that beach and sand is. We are in that center line. We can either align ourselves to the Chit Shakti by performing devotional service, or we could engage in the materialistic activity which has no relationship with Krishna. So the Jiva has the independence to decide what he wants to do because he is the part of Krishna. So what does he do? He either chooses to be in association with Krishna or he chooses to be averse from Krishna. So when he chooses to be averse from Krishna, then he is bound by the Maya. So but when he is towards the Krishna, then he is not bound by Maya. He is in the state of liberation. When he He purifies the process of devotional service. So that is the nature of Tatashta Shakti. It means it is the marginal. It is not on this side. It's not on the other side. It's in the center. We can align ourselves to whichever side we want to be. So that's what is mentioned here. The unlimited universe emanates from the Maya Shakti, and the infinite Jivas are created by the Jiva Shakti. Is that clear? Is this concept clear? What are the three Shaktis of the Lord? Any questions in this? Please stop me if I'm unclear or if it's, yeah.
It's clear, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So the third subject. As Hari, Sri Krishna is the ocean of all rasas. Shanta, Dhasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhura. These are the 5 rasas. Of all the rasas, Madhura rasa is the most superior. In Krishna's Vrajalila, Madhura rasa eternally remains with its Vishuddha Bhava. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that Krishna has the 64 qualities. Yeah. So now in this third truth, the third subject, Bhaktivinoda Thakur establishes the rasas, the dealings that we can have with Krishna. As I told, the sambandha is like you have to know who is Krishna, and then you have to know completely about him. That is, and your relationship with him. That is the sambandha. So how can you have a relationship with Krishna when you don't know what relationship you can have with Krishna? Yeah. If someone says you have to have a relationship with Krishna, but they don't tell you what relationship you can have with him, then what will you think? Like, so what will I be to Krishna? What's my relationship with him? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur here mentions 5 major rasas. So what are the 5 major rasas? Can anyone tell? It was just explained, recited. No, please, Mataji.
Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya.
Yeah.
And as you said, Prabhuji, Madhurya is the best. Yeah.
Yeah. So Shanta, that is the neutrality. Okay. We'll look into what each and everything is. Dasya is servitorship. It means serving the Lord. As he's the master and I am the servant. Third is Sakya, treating the Lord as his friend, or like how Gopas were. Fourth is Vatsalya, parental affection, treating the Lord as the child, that I am the parent and he is the child. Fifth is Madhura or Madhuri Rasa, which is the conjugal relationship, just like how gopis and queens of Dwarka had. That is the Madhurya Rasa. So for example, what are the examples of Shanta Rasa is? For example, we can say like the trees, the soils of Vrindavan or the trees. You could see those are in the state of Shanta Rasa, neutrality. It doesn't involve in much of the activities, but it is still in the state of Shanta Rasa, neutrality. Next is Dasya Rasa. Dasya Rasa is serving him as the master. For example, Chitraka, and very well known example is like Hanuman, Lord Hanuman. So he was in the mood of Dasya to Lord Ram. And we can also say, for example, Akrura. Akrura was also in the example of Dasya. And third is the Sakya. Sakya is in the mood of friendship. For example, Madhumangal, Sudama, and then Arjuna, and then Uddhava. These were all in the mood of Sakya. And fourth is the Vatsalya, parental. For example, Yashoda Maya and Nanda Baba, and then Vasudev, and then Devaki. So people who are superior, who consider Krishna to be their child, they all come under the category of Vatsalya. And fifth is the Madhurya. Madhurya is like Gopi, how gopis treated Krishna, or how the queens, like for example, Rukmini, Satyabhama, they all come under the category of Madhurya Rasa. So here it is said, out of all, which is the superior? Madhurya is the superior. So there are 2 ways to look at it. So whatever truth we see, there are 2 distinctive truths. One is called the subjective truth. One is called the objective truth. So what one means is like, one means it is what as it is said, and subjective is something like it depends on each person. So what might be better for me might not be better for you. you might be having some preference or some changes in it. So this rasa can be considered in that way. For example, they say Madhurya is the highest as per Tattva. But does it mean like the other rasas are lower than Madhurya? For example, Dasya or Sakya. So does it mean it is very lower to Madhurya and it is not worth thinking about it?
No, that's not right.
So that's not the right way to look at it. For example, let us go to a Hanuman. We'll go to Hanuman and we'll say, from now on, you should not be treating Rama as your master. You should be thinking Rama as a conjugal lover, like how Gopi is treated. Because what gopis did were the highest, what you are doing is the lowest. Would you think Hanuman would be listening to you and be performing Madhurya Rasa? No, I think he would just give a whack with his tail. Just get lost. No, I want to worship Rama as my master. You cannot go and try to convince Hanuman and say like, conjugal is the highest, Dasya is the lowest. No. Similarly, you can't go to a friend of Krishna like Sudamas and then Madhumangal, etc. You can say, no, you should not treat Krishna as your friend. See what gopis are doing. That is the supreme rasa. They won't even listen to you. They would start playing again with Krishna. They really don't care, because for a person in Sakya rasa, his rasa is the highest. For a person in Dasya rasa, for example, for Hanuman, his way of rasa is the highest, and that is the truth also. So Madhurya rasa is the highest in terms of philosophy because it has more attachment and more relationship with Krishna. But this doesn't mean the other rasas are lower, in no way. No, each rasa is higher. It all depends on the mood of the devotee. If a devotee wants to serve the Lord in the mood of Dasya, yes, that is the highest for him. We cannot convince him saying like Madhurya is the highest for everyone. Like, like how I said, the jiva is independent. Each jiva has its own quality and nature. So based on that, the level of rasa differs. But in terms of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Madhurya rasa is the highest because the relationship is more sweet and it is very much closer to Krishna. That's what Krishna says. Here, next, he speaks about the 64 qualities of Krishna. So I think I'm not going to read all the 64. So how many qualities that Jiva have? How many qualities that Brahma have? I think we have discussed this before. How many qualities Krishna has 64 qualities, right?
Yes.
So how many qualities that Brahma and the Jiva have?
60.
No, Brahma has 50 qualities to the fullest extent, and then he has the next 5 qualities to a minimal extent. But Jiva, he has only 50 qualities to a minimal extent. He does not even possess that 50 qualities to fullest extent. For example, if you want to just look at, I'm not reading everything, just for example, clever, expert, grateful, self-controlled, steady, forgiving, sober, merciful, humble. So these all comes under the first 50 categories. In that, the Jiva possesses the first 50 categories of the 64 qualities of Krishna. So what are the next 5 qualities? Those are the changeless, omniscient, ever fresh, having a form of condensed eternity, knowledge and bliss, possessing all mystic perfection. So which personality has the next 5 qualities along with the 50? It means the 55 qualities. So which personality has all the 55 qualities? Yes, Mataji.
Lord Shivji?
Yes, Mataji. So Lord Shivji, he has all 55 qualities to the fullest extent. That is the reason Lord Shiva does not come under the category of Jiva Tattva, or he does not come under the category of Vishnu Tattva. So Lord Shiva is Shiva Tattva, that is a separate category, because he is same as the Supreme Lord, but he is different as the Supreme Lord. Like how Brahma Samhita says, Kshiram Yata Dadivikara Vishesha Yoga. It is a special transformation where Krishna transforms into Shiva. I think we have already seen that. I'm not going deep into that. So Lord Shiva possesses the 55 qualities. So what are the next 5 qualities? He possesses great inconceivable potencies. His body produces infinite universe. He is the source of all avatars. He awards liberation to those he kills. He attracts those who are self-satisfied. Okay. So which personalities possesses the next 5 to the fullest extent? It means 50 plus 5 plus 5. So all 60. So who possesses all 60 qualities?
Krishna. Oh, Vishnu. Then
Yes.
last 3 is yeah.
So the 60 qualities is possessed by Vishnu Tattva. All the Vishnu Murtis that we see, they possess all these 60 qualities. So there are 4 qualities that are especially reserved for Krishna. What are those? He charms everyone with his Leela. He has the most astonishing pastimes. He has the most beloved devotees, and he is the one who plays the flute. He attracts everyone with his flute, and he has the most beautiful form. So only Krishna possesses this extra 4 qualities. Along with it, he has all the 64 qualities. So one thing what we need to understand here is, this doesn't mean like the other Vishnu forms do not have this. Now we have to please understand. We have to be very clear of this. Only Krishna exhibits these 4 qualities. This doesn't mean the Rama lacks these 4 qualities. No, Rama or the Varaha, whichever Vishnu, Narasimha, whichever Vishnu form we see, they are all supreme. They are all supreme lords. But they do not exhibit these 4 qualities. This doesn't mean like Narasimha does not have this. He does not exhibit it. Only Krishna exhibits this because he is the complete avatar. He is the Purna avatar. Because of that, only Krishna exhibits these 4 qualities. Even the other avatars, even Vishnu has these 4, but he does not exhibit it. So that's what is given here. All the 64 qualities of Krishna. Okay, so now we have finished the 3 subjects. So the 3 subjects is, we spoke about who is Bhagavan. So we spoke about the glories of Bhagavan and everything. Now the 4th, 5th and 6th subject, it is going to speak about the Jiva Tattva and how we are related with the Lord. So what I would suggest is, can we go on with this next week? Because now we have spoken about Bhagavan. I would send you all these 3 tattvas, 3 subjects in Skype and WhatsApp. You can just have a read about that, and then can we continue in next class? I just thought if we read all 9 today, then it might be a little confusing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Then shall we stop
Yes,
the class for today? Is there any questions, Mataji? Please, if I'm unclear, any comments or any criticism, please.
No, clear, Prabhuji, and lots of concepts from previous classes. So clear, Prabhuji. Yeah.
No.
Very deep.
Yes, Mataji, it is, but I think it is. Once we start hearing it, then it would. Even I don't know anything. I'm just reading. That's it. Reading from the book. That's it. So I'll send you those 3 subjects. I'm not sending rest. We'll continue with the next.
Yeah.
And then if you have any questions, yeah, please let me know. Yeah. Vancha kalpatarubhishcha kripa
कृपा सिंधुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Ji.
Bye, Indra Mataji. Hare Krishna.